Blah, blah, blah. Yogananda said sarcasm is despicable. Hey guys, it's John out here on the back deck enjoying a lovely mug of coffee. You know, I make these videos multiples of times sometimes. Today I've done 3, and I'm so happy that I have this reason in the video to drink that mug of coffee because that is joyful and loving for me. Yogananda said, making others happy through kindness of speech and sincerity of right advice is a sign of true greatness. To hurt another soul by sarcastic words, looks, or suggestions is despicable. Every time I hear the word despicable, I think of Daffy Duck. It's despicable, right? um, when I think of this thing, sarcasm, my family is a very sarcastic family, and sometimes sarcasm genuinely hurts people. And please don't get me wrong. I mean, I feel that sarcasm sometimes hurt me today. Still, I walked into a family reunion one time, and my cousin says, "You look great for a fat guy," and I felt that, and I honest to God, spun around and gave him the finger. Right? Um, that sarcasm is a power play. It's designed to make you feel more powerful than someone else, to put someone in their place. Now, you might think you're trying to be loving. In his case, he thought he was being loving. He was literally just calling me fat, right? And when you look at it from the idea of sarcasm being despicable, you say something sarcastically, and you may have the most wonderful intent in the world as you do it. But the person across from you might not have that, might not understand that. All he's hearing is the words. All she's hearing is the words. And those words have meaning. And, that line, you look pretty good for a fat guy. It's all about the fat guy, right? And when you come back to the perspective of I am creating a life that is joyful and loving, then you have to be joyful and loving for all the people around you. You have to be joyful and loving for the people who are in your life and who are living a life of an expression of joy. And when you find that you are the one who is delivering sarcasm, it's despicable. It's despicable because you are the one who is lashing out to feel more powerful. You're living in the power play of trying to be over top of or have a hierarchy of being better than those other people. And when you live into that space, you're actually creating something very ugly into the world. Sarcasm hurts. Sarcasm is meant to hurt. Sarcasm is designed to put people in their place, and sarcasm is to make sure those people feel less than you. And when you live into sarcasm as a fun means of having fun with your family, it tears families apart. My niece at Christmas said to her boyfriend, and we overheard it. She says, I don't like my father's family because they're all busting each other's balls all the time. Well, I have a very sarcastic family. They're very sarcastic, and their humor is sarcasm, and they do attack in sarcasm. And what happens is someone uses sarcasm, the people around them go into defensive mode and start using sarcasm because that is the defensive mode. That is a way that they are creating the expression of protecting themselves. Well, why do they need to protect themselves? Why do they need to be sarcastic in return? Because they've been shown that they're not safe in that environment. They've been shown to be not safe in that expression of self, and that family becomes the unsafe place. So family reunions become a struggle for people because they know they go there, and they know they're about to have sarcasm thrown at them. I get sarcasm in my family reunions because of the fact that I don't believe what my Catholic siblings do. And sometimes they get sarcastic about what I believe. But I have to come to the space of realizing their sarcasm is their fear of not being right. It's their desire to put themselves above my beliefs. It's also, from my perspective, when I look at them, they're being sarcastic because they're not confident. They're being sarcastic because they're trying to prove that they're right. And I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm just living my truth. And my truth has been beautiful. But to be in sarcasm means their life is not beautiful. That because they're literally creating an expression of being a um, protector of what they believe. They're allowed to believe what they believe. I respect their beliefs. I have no quims or qualms, nor do I feel threatened by their belief. And sarcasm comes from that place of feeling threatened. But they'll often use sarcasm before the threat can present itself. If they would have just loved their brother, they wouldn't have had to be sarcastic. But my love is unconditional. I'll love them exactly how they are, exactly who they are. I'll understand that their sarcasm is their personal journey, but it can be very despicable. Now, I'm a pretty strong-willed person, but it can be pretty despicable if you're using sarcasm against people who feel, you know, fat, who feel like they're not worthy, who feel like they're in a space of, and you jokingly use a sarcastic comment. They're not going to take it as a joke. They're going to take it as an attack. They're going to take it as validation that they're not worthy, and they're going to create this expression of life that is just unhappy because you've chosen to validate their self-doubt and self-worth. Sarcasm is despicable. I agree with Yogananda. Let go of sarcasm. Come back to just simply loving. Words have power. You know, people do a lot of cussing, and every so often I'll tell a story that has a cuss word in it. Before I tell a person that story, I tell them flat out, I'm going to say a cuss word. So, and just because somebody else said this in the story, I don't tend to use that many cuss words in my life. Sometimes I do, but when I pare down my language because first of all, I find foul language just to be lazy speaking. I think you can say have much more impact and say more um, powerful things to someone without those use of the words, because the use of those words kind of negates the entire thing you're saying. I think you have more power to come with something more constructive rather than just putting a shock word in the middle to make it feel like it has power. Um, so when I look at this idea of the creation of positive experiences around us, you've got to take the words that we're using and make them more positive, make them more loving, make them less sarcastic, make them less foul, and come back to this not being despicable, right? And coming back to being loving, being caring, being joyful, and showing people how great they are as opposed to putting them beneath you with sarcasm. That's my thought on this. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.